Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak. So today, on Honest J. Nowak, I'm going to go ahead and get situated with the topic of survival. Now, of course, people out there who happen to know me very well when it comes to playing certain things out there that can relate to survival, including Ark Survival Evolved, Resident Evil, and many other games that do involve the basics of survival, they should probably be able to get to know about the real life equivalent of survival in and of itself. Basically, the art of survival skills happens to harken back to when we first dawned as a civilization. Millions of years ago, our own ancestors, they had to do a lot just to maintain their lifestyle, and they had to do even more just to get by. Of course, the many simple tasks about survival itself that pretty much just sums it up for me is that, well, for one, in order to catch food, they had to create certain tools and weapons to be able to take out other animals and the like, and they also had to build a campfire to avoid eating raw meat. Of course, that's also a main reason why we no longer really have wisdom teeth, but of course, as soon as we started cooking food, it became way easier for us as a civilization. Much easier for us as a species, and even more so as a race. The human race, that is. But survival itself isn't just about getting by when it comes to consumption. It also has something to do with the entertainment value. These days, entertainment happens to really harken many things out there. Film, television, video games, books, music, anything you could possibly name, they can all show you that they're fun and easy to take along. But way back in the day, we didn't really have much for entertainment. There was no such thing as a smartphone, a television, a game console. None of those things ever existed way back in the day. Thousands of years ago, we didn't really have a whole lot to work with. As the ages went by, as the centuries and millenniums started to pass on by, and chronologically we were getting much more advanced as time went by, we were definitely hitting ourselves a good mark when it came to getting to know about ourselves and the talents that we have and the ways that we had to show them off. Sports came by, comics came by, television shows came by, film also came by, but there's many other things about it that you probably didn't even know existed. But of which that many of them are gone now, so you can't really get to know much about them unless you look them up. But of course, one major thing about survival is keeping yourself acquainted with others at all times. When anyone sticks together, they can really increase their odds of getting much better hope of not getting themselves killed out there in the wilderness. Because there weren't many structures out there to protect yourself. And there also weren't a whole lot of tools to be able to control what happens with reality. Many different tools relating to weapons and defense usages have basically gotten better as time went by. Some weapons, including lances, maces, swords, defense items such as shields and barricades and battering rams, they also took lots of time to develop. But of course, as time went by, even up to this very day, we still happen to use some of these items, mostly as a way of showcasing what happened in the past. But there's still one more thing about survival. The usage of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It was a simple pyramid consisting of 4 different groups that happened to showcase the many different cognitive aspects and the different abilities that a human being is capable of performing. The many different things about Maslow's hierarchy of needs can definitely point out towards your inner emotions and your outer sense of respectability. But many people out there aren't even really familiar with the hierarchy of needs revolving around our own behavior. And so that's one big thing out there that happens to control our lives. But of course, there's just so much about it that may not seem like it makes sense, but the reason that it does is that because we still do happen to have that kind of way of life on us, no matter how we look at it. So with all that being said, I guess I should thank you guys for coming all this way just to pretty much hear me talk about survival and how Maslow's hierarchy of needs, sports, books, television, and all that other stuff that I mentioned here happens to relate to how you get by, to how you survive, out there or in here. And so if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.